Attention, Dallas Cowboys faithful, buckle up, because the winds of change might be blowing through the NFC East in a way we haven't seen in years, and the ripple effect could shape the Cowboys' road to a championship for the next decade. This isn't just your usual off-season speculation. This is the type of rumor that could rewrite power rankings, send shockwaves through every front office in the division, and instantly alter how opponents prepare for America's team. Over the past few days, whispers have grown louder about something most of us didn't even have on the bingo card for 2025. The Dallas Cowboys potentially making a blockbuster move to acquire Christian McCaffrey. Yes, that Christian McCaffrey, one of the NFL's most dangerous offensive weapons. A player who can take over a game in multiple ways, and the kind of piece that makes defensive coordinators lose sleep. To fully understand how this could even be possible, you have to look at the state of the San Francisco 49ers right now. On paper, they've been a powerhouse for years, but last season told a different story. Injuries, a lack of depth, and missed opportunities dropped them to a stunning 6-11 finish. For a team that has been a fixture in the playoff conversation, that record was nothing short of shocking. Key players like Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk missed significant time, and while Trent Williams is still a legend, he's now 36 years old, a point where even the best start to slow down. The 49ers Super Bowl odds have plummeted from top 5 territory to sitting around 10th according to FanDuel, with odds of plus 2,500. Those numbers tell a story. A franchise that might be ready to shake things up, perhaps even parting with high-value veterans like McCaffrey to reset and reload. From a purely strategic standpoint, trading McCaffrey now makes sense for San Francisco. He's 28, still playing at an elite level, and his market value is sky-high. Moving him could net premium draft picks, open up cap space, and give the 49ers flexibility to address multiple roster needs in one stroke. And that's where Dallas could swoop in. The Cowboys have already shown their willingness to be aggressive this offseason, pulling off the deal for wide receiver George Pickens. That wasn't just about adding talent, it was a clear message from the front office that they're going for it in 2025. Despite being underdogs in the eyes of oddsmakers, with plus 4,200 Super Bowl odds, the Cowboys clearly believe their window to win is open right now, and moves like this are about slamming that window wide open. When you look at the Cowboys' current backfield, it's a mix of potential and uncertainty. Javonte Williams, rookie Jaden Blue, and Miles Sanders bring skill, but none are proven game changers at this stage. Dallas didn't draft a running back until after the 5th round, which raised eyebrows. That leaves a gaping opportunity for a player like McCaffrey to step in and transform the offense overnight. We're talking about a guy who, just 2 years ago, racked up nearly 1,460 rushing yards, added over 560 receiving yards, and scored 14 rushing touchdowns. When healthy, he's not just productive, he's a one-man offense. Imagine pairing that level of talent with CeeDee Lamb stretching the field, George Pickens working the boundary, and Dak Prescott, or whoever's under center, having a check-down weapon who can take it to the house from anywhere. That's the kind of addition that doesn't just make the Cowboys better, it makes them terrifying. But what about the 49ers? Would they really let go of such a dynamic player? The truth is, Shanahan's offense has always found ways to maximize running backs, even without a superstar. They've already invested in young talents like Isaac Guerendo and Jordan James, both of whom flashed potential last season. Guerendo, in particular, had multiple games over 75 rushing yards and looks like someone who could thrive in an expanded role. That means parting with McCaffrey, while emotionally difficult, wouldn't destroy their offensive identity, and the assets they'd get back could help them fill other pressing needs immediately. For the Cowboys, the price tag would be steep. We're likely talking about a high draft pick, maybe a player, and possibly a conditional future selection. But history tells us that bold moves often define champions. Remember when the Patriots swung for Randy Moss? Or when the Rams went all in for Odell Beckham Jr., both teams took calculated risks, and both reaped deep playoff runs as a reward. McCaffrey could be that kind of move for Dallas, the one that finally pushes them past the divisional round hurdle that's haunted them for nearly 3 decades. The implications for the NFC East would be massive. The Eagles, who have been the Cowboys' biggest obstacle in recent years, would suddenly find themselves in an arms race to keep pace. The Giants and Commanders, still trying to find their footing, would be staring at a Dallas offense that could punish them on the ground and through the air in equal measure. One trade could shift the balance of power in the division for years, and if you're a Cowboys fan, that's exactly the kind of pressure you want to put on your rivals. Of course, there are risks. McCaffrey has an injury history, and running backs typically don't get better with age. The financial commitment would be significant, and giving up draft capital always comes with long-term consequences. But the NFL is about windows, and the Cowboys is open right now. With a defense that's among the league's best, and an offense that's a piece or two away from being elite, this is the moment to swing big. If Jerry Jones and company decide to pull the trigger, the statement to the league would be deafening. The Dallas Cowboys are all in, and they're done waiting for next year. For a fan base starved for a 6th Lombardi trophy since 1995, it would be a move drenched in both risk and excitement. The question now is whether those whispers turn into phone calls, those phone calls into negotiations, and those negotiations into the kind of headline that stops the football world in its tracks. Because if McCaffrey ends up in a Cowboys uniform, 2025 won't just be another season, it could be the one we've all been waiting for. If you want, I can now follow this with a continuation that ramps up the drama and speculation even further, so it feels like a high-energy YouTube segment that could fill 8+ minutes of watch time. That would include more insider buzz-style storytelling, examples of historical blockbuster trades, and playoff scenario breakdowns. And as this rumor swirls, you can almost feel the electricity building around the star, and Frisco players are whispering in the locker room. Fans are lighting up social media with mock-up edits of McCaffrey in a Cowboys uniform, and analysts are already debating how defensive coordinators would even game plan against an offense with that much firepower. It's the kind of potential move that doesn't just change a team's depth chart, it changes its identity, sending a clear message to the entire league that Dallas isn't satisfied with simply making the playoffs anymore. They're coming for the Lombardi, and they're willing to make the kind of bold, fearless, headline-grabbing decisions that could make 2025 a season for the history books.